is ghosts of the London Underground, right?
Yeah.
So, everyone knows what sort of sound a ghost makes. That's all they do, right?
Do you reckon he's got a massive horn that he does that through?
First thing in the morning.
Yeah. So when he's gonna haunt you, and he ain't got his massive horn to go through, and he thinks, oh shit!
Imagine if you stole the horn. Imagine if he went for a kip during the daytime, because they're never out in the daytime, ghosts. No. And you thought, what's this thing? And you just lobbed it out the window of the horn, and then he come out, where's my horn? I'm going to do that, announce that I'm here sound down the tunnel. Yeah. Fucking, where's my horn? Yeah. And he goes looking, if I can't find it. And he goes, and it doesn't come in. It just doesn't work without the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'll say, ghost, fuck off with your horn.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So let's talk a bit about the London Underground. If people that don't know, if you're not here in the KVU, or if you've never been to London, you don't know much about it. It was built in 1863, or they started construction on it in 1863. 1.35 billion used the London Tube, the London Underground annually. The construction of the London Underground disturbed cemeteries and plague pits across London. Yeah. Right, so they literally had to excavate, whatever they call it, the bodies, take all the dead bodies out of the ground to dig under underneath. And also, it's made it a bit more complicated because they had to calculate for Earth's curvature to create the London Underground, which is flat. It's flat. Tell the people that built the London Underground, because the documents are everywhere, that they had to.
Is it like 220 meters deep? Is it 220 feet?
I don't know, but eventually it would have popped back out of the ground if they hadn't curved it with the curvature. But that doesn't exist apparently. So that's just people in 1863 thought we better trick flat Earthers and pretend we didn't do that. CGI. NASA didn't exist till the 1950s, so what do you say to that? Right, anyway, most sightings of the ghosts come from night workers walking the deserted lines. So all of these stories and that we're going to be talking about, many of these experiences are observed mainly by workers in the high vis, actually. Walking the deserted lines around the London Underground. The Underground is monitored 24/7 everywhere on CCTV.
Even on the deserted ones.
But guess what?
Go on.
Nothing ever gets caught on it.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, there's no videos. It's 24/7, but no ghosts are ever caught on it.
Yeah, and that just makes me wonder, because you always hear like these stories of these underground workers. Yeah, I see a person in a grey suit walking along the platform when nobody should have been there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that. There wasn't. None of them ever wear like bright orange Nike t-shirts.
I know. Yeah. Why is it always like dark, I get it in
dark
this
and mysterious
figure?
Like nobody died. We've said this before, haven't we? Like nobody died after 1900, according to the ghost stories of London. It's like it's always people wearing old like Jack the Ripper type outfits.
Yeah,
and shit.
It's like this picture there you got on the screen. It's like
that's exactly what every ghost looked like.
Have you ever seen the old Michael Caine Jack the Ripper film?
That was a series, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's got that when they figure something out that's like quite intense and mysterious, that sound effect that goes past, or when Jack the Ripper's like carriage is going along the street. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember watching it. It's like late 80s or something. Like that.
And that's what reminds me of this. Is like. Okay,
this is what all the ghosts are. They're either like women in long black dresses or blokes with top hats on and long cloaks.
Yeah.
That's like the London. But then, would you say, have you ever spent any time in the London Underground at night, like on your own?
Not really.
I've slept there before.
Really?
Because we missed the last train.
Yeah.
So we just slept and this is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
Back in the day that you could just go into I'm going back to the 90s, but you could go into the thing and just wait for like you missed the last train, you can just sit on the platform.
Yeah.
So we'd wait for the morning train, right? And we'd just kip on the platform. I can't remember where did we used to go? We used to go to some boat. There was a nightclub on a boat.
Yeah.
On the Thames.
The Cutty Sark.
No. An actual boat, not a fucking wreck. Oh, we used to go there anyway back in the day. And one morning, like I used to sit down there, not all the time, but a handful of times, and we'd just fall asleep. I never intended to, just like we'd sit and wait for the first train at whatever time. Because we weren't getting out till sort of 4-ish or whatever. And one morning, woke up and we had fucking money in front of us. People thought we were fucking home. Like coins in front of us.
That's brilliant.
One night I was kipping. I got woken up. I thought, is that alarm clock? But it weren't. It was a strange sound. That's what woke me up, telling me the train was coming.
Do you know what? About the abandoned stations, though? I just think to myself, like, the amount of homeless people would probably sleep in them.
Yeah, I know. Me for one, back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like... That was just what people did. It's like one or two of us, and we just sort of, it was people just used to suggest it, do this. Like there was another time we missed the train when we got the last train, but we almost missed it when I went out to Fax's Stag Do, and that was almost a deserted station. I can't remember which that one was either, but we was in Leicester Square.
Yeah,
I don't know, but anyway, let's start it with something. I'll say close to your heart, but in a bad way. Yeah, Bethnal Green, right? How many times you been to this fucking station?
Oh, mate, and do you know what? When I was watching the video on this, I literally recognised that actual thing. That's where I nearly got mugged.
Did you hear the screaming? Well, we're getting to the story anyway, right? Yeah. So Bethnal Green Station in London. So where is that then, Lee? What part is it? Like where is it? Central London?
No, it's East South London, not South London, East London.
Yeah,
it's along that way. Yeah,
I just thought I'd put a bit of spooky music on while we talk about it. So it's in the East End then.
Yeah.
So 173 people died in 1943. Right. The station opened in 1939 apparently.
Yeah.
But in 1943, 173 people died. They used to. All right, this music's annoying me. They used to. Lasted long, didn't it? I thought I'd try and set the scene there. I thought it's just to piss me off.
You did. You said it to me. I was there.
I did. You was there. You felt like you was in Bethnal Green in the 30s.
Yeah, I felt that I was back at the Green of Beth.
Yeah. So during the war, they used to use the tube stations in London if there was a bombings or the blitzes or whatever. People used to run down and take cover in the stations because they were so far underground. It was pretty safe down there. There was no such thing as like chemical warfare and stuff like this. They used them as air raid shelters in the Blitz in 1940 and 41. The Blitz killed 20,000 in London, people that didn't get down there in time, obviously. So people used to run down there whenever they played the air raid sirens. They go down to Bethnal Green. People of that area would go to Bethnal Green Station and shelter from the air raids. So there was a lady. It says there's a lady returning from work to Bethnal Green. This was a ghost sighting, right? She saw a crying child, went to touch the child, and no physical person was there at all.
Yeah.
Hand went through the child. Did the child look up and go... rather than cry? Well, that's probably. She saw a crying child and no physical. She told the workers, the high vis people, and they all knew about it. So they're like, "Oh, that kid, he's always there. It's not. That's a ghost."
When you die and go to heaven, so to speak, are you meant to be happier?
I don't know. Obviously not. But these people are apparently claiming that like they weren't ready to go, so therefore they're stuck between the two worlds.
They're stuck in the ether.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is the ether? What is
it's
the
just
ether?
Someone with a lisp saying Easter, isn't it? So they'll be gone next week. So,
yeah.
What are you doing here? Ether. What?
Ether.
Especially a little kid. No one's given him an egg for 50 years.
Yeah.
Give this kid a chocolate egg and he'll fuck off. That's what he's crying for. Yeah, chocolate. What do you want? Ether. What?
Ether.
No, is you still crying? That's the ghostly cry of a baby, right? They told the workers, they said they all knew about it. Crying child sounds were very common in the Bethnal Green. One time, someone heard the crying, and this is like the main story. So someone claims that they heard a crying child, and then suddenly it turned into a series of crying children, loads of crying children, and then was screams and crying adults and crying this and crying that, and it was like a whole hundreds of people was crying. That is the sound that came from the station that someone reported, right? a lot more and more people. But there was nothing on CCTV, obviously, from this sound. But the reason they believe this is because on the 3rd of March 1943, at 8:13 p.m, an air raid warning went off. People from Bethnal Green ran to the station, and as they got to the staircase, something like gunfire or something freaked them out. And basically, some woman fell down the stairs holding her baby. And then everyone panicked. They all crushed each other, trod all over the woman and the baby. The baby's obviously crying. This is they're claiming the crying
Literal
baby.
Domino effect going down the stairs.
Yeah. And everyone got crushed. And they all basically killed themselves with panic. That was ironic, wasn't it?
Do you reckon when they got a crush, they was like in love with the person in front of them, and they just got crushed? So. Yeah.
Or it was that bloke from Demolition wrestling. Back in the day.
Axe Smash and Crush.
Yeah. I mean, he was there. But so they basically panicked that they're going to die and ended up dying because of their panic. The moral of the story is, don't panic.
Don't panic, yeah.
Because
dead men tell no tales.
Dead men tell no tales.
Exactly, mate.
So, so there's a sound of something, crash happened, domino effect, mass hysteria.
Yeah.
So that is what they're claiming. If you go to Bethnal Green Station, then there's a good chance, apparently, if you're on a deserted platform. Did you ever find yourself on a deserted Bethnal Green platform, Lee?
Do you know what? I was one time. I was the only person on the. I think it was the Central Line platform to change for the District Line.
Yeah.
And it was quite. It was quite eerie, actually. It was quite. Not. I wasn't scared in any way, shape, or form. How can scared be shape? How can scared be shape? Oh yeah, I weren't scared in any shape or form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what scared is like a square.
Yeah, I think so. Hexagon. I weren't scared. That's funny. You look triangular to me. I could tell you were scared.
I was standing there thinking, when's my fucking train coming? Because I want to go home.
Yeah, exactly. Did you say you didn't hear any crying or any go? Didn't hear this?
I didn't.
That sounds a bit like the train pulling in.
Yeah.
Like with the air that rushes
anyone,
out.
Anyone who ever wants to go to Bethnal Green and see this tube station, I would advise you not to. Bethnal Green's a shithole.
You know what I think we should do, Lee? Like, because this where we've got this information from is like a London Haunted Walks company, right? I reckon we should take the contraption, and we should go on this haunted tour, and we should record it, and we should Patreon it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so. We can tell about our ghostly experiences.
Yeah,
with the woman that done this video. And there'll be other things as well that I think they do. But we got that was Bethnal Green. So if you're ever in London, or if you're ever travelling from overseas, there's the US of A coming to London because you think it's historical and the royal family bring more tourism in and fuck off all that shit.
These people from America, do they not know how much of a shithole London is?
Yeah, but they say that about New York. As well, and I loved going to New York. The woman that even the tour guide on the New York tour said, "Place looks fucking terrible."
Yeah,
but it was Christmas. She goes, "Because it's Christmas, it looks nice, but generally it looks like shit." That was her words.
Yeah.
And she was doing the tour.
Did you go through Queens?
I did go through Queens, but I walked through Queens. I had done the ghost tour. I'd done a bus tour that took us through main Manhattan, went down Brooklyn Bridge that way, Battery Park, Statue of Liberty, all that sort of shit. Then I'd done another one up into Harlem, which was basically advised, stay on the bus on this one. Don't get out, just hop on, hop off. But there was the Queens. I just ended up going over that way and just to go into all the districts. Just walked, just got the bus to the closest point and went for a bit of a stroll over the bridge.
Isn't it bad when they say don't get off the bus?
Yeah, I still did.
In a civilized world in Queens, walking through Queens, you've got a fear for your life.
They said to me, like, don't get off it, otherwise you'll be a bit scared. I say, you're having a laugh. I've been to Bethnal Green Station on my own at night. It's got nothing on that. I don't care. So talking of stations, bank station then.
Right? Yeah, this one really made me laugh. So
in 1811, the Black Nun, right? So 1811. What was that? Is this when this thing happened? So the actual thing, because the bank was there before the station, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the bank, they didn't want to. So this thing is the Black Nun of Bank. This is what this ghost is apparently called. There was a church across the road that had to give up their crypt to build the Northern Line tunnel. So the crypt had to go, as we mentioned earlier in the show. Right? Drop me pen here. And the church also gave up its cemetery. So they had to give up the cemetery and the crypt.
Yeah.
To be able to get this the Northern Line built. And the bank station built when they was building the London Undergrounds. So the woman, the way she said it here is that they had to dig up everything, and the amount of bodies moved was a ridiculous amount, and all of that disturbing of the souls.
Yeah. People apparently being pushed down the stairs when they're going down to the underground.
What are you talking about?
Like at bank station.
Yeah. But that weren't the fucking that weren't the souls, was it? That weren't the skeletons. Do you reckon they all got up out of the ground then and went down the station? Skeletons walking down there.
But do you reckon it was like Thriller? All of a sudden they started coming out there fucking.
I think so. Or they all had that fucking virus.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
The fungi.
Yeah. It says here, the bank, what you just said, the bank staircase, people report feeling touched and pushed down the stairs. Did you? I've walked to the bank before because I think, is it close to like Fenchurch Street? Is it walkable from there?
Yeah,
so
you can walk to it.
Tower Hill was shut and I had to walk to the bank.
Yeah.
To go to Arsenal, I think, one time. So Sarah Whitehead, this is her name.
Yeah.
She's the Black Nun of Bank. Even though she wasn't a nun, she was just a woman with the same clothes that everyone wore back then.
Exactly. Why do they call these people a nun? Oh no, she's got a drape going over her head, so we're going to call her.
We'll just call her a nun. That's all, because that's what most people did for a living back then. In the early 19th, this is the story behind the hauntings of the Black Nun of Bank, right? Because she's wasting her time touching people and pushing them down the stairs at the bank station, and this is the reason why. Early 19th century, her and her brother Philip were very close. And when she said that,
not Philip Schofield's brother, is it?
No, Philip Schofield's brother. He was outed when he was a bit of a pedo.
Yeah.
And the Schofield of Philip won't be far behind him, as far as I'm concerned. So they were very close, which made sound a bit incestuous to me when she said that. They were very close. She's almost done a wink.
Yeah, it's like we're very close.
Philip was a bank teller, but he also had a gambling debt. This Philip, bit of a lot to go on the horses, I suppose. What sports was around in 1811?
I know, yeah. Rugby and football weren't even around.
How did you gamble back then? Just one bloke would be like, I'll give you 2-1 for that, you're right. And he just had pockets full of cash.
Maybe backstreet fighting and things like that, like bare knuckle fighting. I don't know. What? Dog fighting? I don't know.
Yeah. But apparently he stole money from the bank.
Yeah.
And he got found guilty. Like, basically, I don't know how they found this out, because it obviously back then you probably could have got away with anything. Mind you, the CCTV these days in the underground don't show you anything apparently. So, but what good was it? But he's got so Philip had a big gambling debt, so he stole money from the bank to pay his debt, and he got executed for it. Right, he got hung, because that's just how they dealt with shit back then. You didn't even have to have a trial, did you? It's like, was you nicking? No, not really. Are you sure? No, everyone else denied it. We think it was you. Get the noose.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the trial.
Get the gallows out.
We just don't like him, right?
Yeah.
The family somehow kept this from Sarah, like his sister.
Yeah.
So that they were so close that she didn't notice he hadn't been around for a few months.
Yeah.
Right? Sarah found out when she tried to meet him from work, and his colleagues told her, "Oh, he's been hanged." Is Philip there? Is Philip there? No. Where is he? Oh, he got hanged a few weeks ago. Imagine that conversation. So she got hysterical, but then she forgot she got hysterical.
Yeah.
So she went back the next day and said, "Oh, where's Philip?" And they goes, "He's been hung." And then she goes, "Oh, hysterical again." Then went back the next day. "Oh, is Philip there?" "No, he's dead. We told you for 2 days, you scabby nun bitch."
Do you reckon they actually said scabby nun bitch?
I think so. I think,
or would they have said, He's been dead for 2 days, madam. One is a scabby nun bitch.
You know what I would have said to her?
Yeah.
If she'd have turned up to me and said, "Is Philip there?" I'd have said,
Bouncy balls, mate.
just to make her as confused as she was making me. And then she'd say, "Is Philip there?" I'd say,
You don't even know where you are.
and then just spin around and push her back towards the thing. But you would say,
Let's go bam, boo boo.
that would be the best
clothesline her out the door.
reply. I probably would, actually, but I've got to
Would
find
you
the
know
sound
what a
effect.
clothesline is in those days? Because
What a clothesline!
with wrestling even about.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Not the F of WW anyway, or E, whatever it is.
You're fired. That's what they said to him. You're hung.
Yeah, you're dead.
What?
So then, so he did the so basically, she kept going back, forgot doing the same thing, and then so she did this every day for 25 years.
Yeah.
This is the story, right? She went back to the bank.
You know what, right? Sorry to interject.
You can interject whenever you want.
I find this story really hard to believe. Who in their right mind for 25 years would go back to a bank? Is my brother here?
Oh, exactly. I would confuse her because I think, is she even listening to me? He's been hung, and she comes back next day. Or maybe that if I change it up a bit, it'll trigger that actually it's not what you said yesterday, and we can have a normal conversation. So she turned up. Oh, where's Philip? And I say he's not here anymore. He's been
Violated by gas.
And she goes, "You said he was hung yesterday." I caught you out.
Yeah.
You did remember. So basically, the bank then apparently offered her money to stop coming.
Yeah.
Was she a porn star? What's that about? Pay you if you don't come.
Yeah, Trump
wants to say that.
Trump's been done for that, isn't he? He's been paid off a porn star.
Yeah, but that's, the things Biden and his son have done that no one's investigating. Oh, you paid you paid hush money. Fucking hell, ridiculous. So she took the money apparently, but then suddenly she remembered and didn't go back anymore. Yeah. Suddenly her amnesia went, and she's like, "Oh, they've paid me now." So then until she died, but now people see a woman to this day apparently in a long black dress asking if they've seen her brother. So if you go to the bank opposite bank station, you might be approached. Hang on a minute. Let me do this in the best way possible. If you go to the bank station and there's a bank across the road, you may be approached by the ghost of Sarah Whitehead, the black nun of bank. And she may ask you if you've seen her brother. And if she does, you need to tell her that you believe he was
Violated by gas.
There you go. Right.
But do you think it's ironic, right? They've called her the Black Nun, but her name's Sarah
You turn into Alanis Morissette. You keep turning into her. No.
Yeah. Do I?
Yeah, you keep saying it's
It's
ironic.
ironic. Yeah.
I thought you'd burst into song.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm gonna do my rap on the Patreon. Is that okay?
On the Patreon?
Yeah.
Well, Troy's on the Patreon. He's the one that's asked for the rap. So yeah definitely. You can
I'm gonna do the rap on there. So if anyone wants to listen to the rap, join the Patreon.
Exactly.
£4 a month.
If we get an influx of people just because of your rap, I'm just going to stop doing Patreon. Just let you do it. Do a rap once a week. Right. So the next. So yeah. So that's that story. So which one was that? That was the
Black Nun of Bank.
Yeah, the Black Nun of Bank.
Yeah,
right.
There's one. You got one at Elephant and Castle, disappearing young lady.
That's coming up.
Yeah,
probably in part 2. Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one more on this week's show, and then we'll go into part 2 for next week's Whatkast.
Whoa!
So this one is the story of. I think this is the story of this. What I've got on the screen here as well. So let's get this up here for those of you watching. This is about the Adelphi Theatre, Covent Garden station, and that is Where is it? I don't know which. Not that one. What is that? Black-eyed girl.
Oh no, that is fucking scary, mate.
All right. Well, I don't know whether there's anything actually on this, any photos of this. All right. Let's just leave it as what it was on before, because I'm not going to read it from there anyway. So this one is about a guy called William Terrace, right?
Yeah.
And Richard Prince. So these were two actors. So the station, Covent Garden Station, used to be a bakery, apparently.
Yeah.
And William Terrace was an actor in the theatres around that district of London. And he was like played Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Apparently, he was famous for that. I thought it was Kevin Costner.
Men in Tights.
Yeah, Men in Tights. Remember that? He was friends with another actor called Richard Prince. Apparently, Prince got jealous of Terrace because Terrace got all the best parts and stuff, and Prince was like a down and out drunk. But Terrace, apparently, the way they told the story is that William Terrace kept. But this was, I don't know what year this was. Did I write down what year? Obviously, this was a very long time ago, right? I didn't write down the date. They probably said it, but it's probably the 18 or 1700s. Because of the underground wasn't even built yet. But so he was a down and out prince, which is a bit ironic because he's called Prince. It's not being called king and being a complete cunt with a high-vis jacket on. Right. And apparently he's gone, he was jealous and he was an alcoholic and he couldn't get any works. Any works? What, fireworks? What was it? Fucking November? I thought it was Easter. But then he's gone, apparently, he blamed Terrace for getting him fired, but apparently the opposite is true, and Terrace kept getting him jobs and giving him money.
Do you know, when you say Terrace, I think of Tetris.
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying. They were saying Terrace, and I was thinking, I kept writing down Terrence, but it was Terrace.
Yeah.
So he got him fired from a show, according to Prince. So Prince waited one night for Terrace to come out, not to come out, to arrive to... And that she walked his route, didn't she, as well? Like from wherever he. What was he? Did people just used to walk around then? Like, because there was no train to get around. So did he? Even the actors, like the most famous people in Theatreland, used to.
Well, it's horse and cart, wasn't it? If you was someone of like quite a high stature, even as an actor, you horse and cart, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
carriage or not cart, carriage.
Yeah. Played that for a while.
The amount of horse shit that might have been around in them days.
It must have been everywhere. Well, the thing is, slipped in that and died, and then came back to haunt everybody.
The thing is, I bet that horse shit covered all the fucking potholes in the road.
Yeah, probably. I bet there weren't no potholes. There weren't even roads then. Yeah. Horse and cart. That was how you got there. It was just like people used to get horse rage when someone cut them up. It's like, shit, you can't. They wouldn't do because they never had the bubble of the car protecting it.
Yeah.
So he's waited. So Prince has waited for Terrace at the stage door, like where the stars enter the show from the outside. Everything was like a cobbled street. If Annie's still there, she walked it. I'd like to quite do this walk actually to see where this happened, because it's like all the cobbled little tiny alleys and all dark, dimly lit thing. And waited for him right outside. And as he's entered, he's brutally murdered him in the street, right out of jealous rage. And then a figure, apparently these days, you can see a figure that looks like Terrace has been seen floating that route, not walking it, like floating the route. Why would he walk?
I know,
like why would he over? Like they say that like the ghosts and that sometimes reenact their last.
That's right. If you died a horrible death and you was a sinner, you would be cursed to reenact your death for the rest of your undead life.
Yeah. Undead. Is that what they call it when they're in between the two? Yeah,
the ether.
Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter.
So it's gone. It can be seen floating the route, and then he always disappears at the point he was killed. So he walks the route for all the alleys, and then disappears. I'm going to go and look for this bloke. Right, look for this ghost. Yeah. Apparently, he died in his girlfriend's arms.
Yeah.
And his last words were, "I will return." Like, you wouldn't say that. You'd be terrified. You're bleeding out. You're about to die. You wouldn't look up, "I will return." Unless you're Arnie, I'll be back.
Unless you're in a Western and you get shot and you're on the floor.
Yeah. I know, but
Settle Martha.
It's just showing off for the cameras. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So it says, I will return. Green mist can be sometimes seen on the stage at the Adelphi, apparently. So if you go there, that's Aladdin, though, isn't it, when that happens?
Yeah.
They just get mist out of the fucking the lamp. And they think, oh, there he is. There's Terrace coming out of the lamp.
Will Smith, isn't it, Aladdin?
Is it? I thought it was Sinbad. Right?
No, Will Smith.
That didn't exist, did it?
No.
So ticket collector at Covent Garden Station now, because Covent Garden, remember where his favourite bakery used to be, Terrace's favourite bakery, it turned into Covent Garden Station. So the ticket collector was checking the deserted platforms one night and saw a man head into the emergency staircase. He phoned colleagues to stop the man, but nobody emerged from the stairs.
Can I say, if he's checking deserted platforms, why is he checking deserted platforms of people if he knows they're deserted?
I think like
I can see this in their office. Dave, check at 7 p.m. check deserted platform for people.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, it's deserted. So why have I got to check it?
Yeah, they should do that. But like, if it's a deserted platform as well, maybe they should send that crying kid over there. He wants dessert, doesn't he? He wants an egg. Maybe they find someone deserted. Maybe at every step there's like a trifle on this step. You go down some ice cream, an Easter egg on that one, a couple of yogurts as you go down. I reckon that's what they meant. No
brownie with vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to put
the on cold connection.
Yeah, I want to put brownie and vanilla ice cream on the list because it's the wankiest dessert ever.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon they just shouted up the stairs, is there anybody up there? And the reply came. And I was like, no, there's no one there. No, they didn't answer yes or no. But people keep describing a distinguished, tall, elegant man, apparently, in this area. And that is obviously...
Why can't he be Danny DeVito?
The other bloke as well was hung for that. And so they're both... No, actually, he wasn't hung. He went to Broadmoor. Yeah.
Why is it a slender woman looks like a nun?
Slender man.
And a tall man with an overcoat on and a tall hat. Why can't it be Danny DeVito?
Yeah, I know.
Short, fat, penguin type guy.
Yeah, if it's Danny DeVito, that makes sense as well because this bloke thought he was Arnie when I'll be back, and they could do the twins film. Right. Anyway, we'll carry on with these. We on the next show, we've got the Bakerloo line, the Embankment Station. That is about the death of a prostitute, apparently, and then we've got Charing Cross Station on the same story. There's like Elephant and Castle's coming up. There's the girl on the train for that one.
Oh, well, no. Why they call it Elephant and Castle?
I don't know. It's crap, isn't it? A crap name.
Yeah.
We've got the girl on the train that people keep seeing. We've got Aldgate Station, which is what you go to every day, don't you? Now, or is it Aldgate East? This one?
No. So I work in Aldgate.
Oh, you don't go to the train, right?
I don't go to the train station. No.
So that is, and there's a story about Farringdon Station as well, about the screaming girl.